Good morning. I hope Silly doesn't fall off the stage. We'll see how we do. So, Brian, we got a couple of slides here. Let's see how we're doing. So there was our symbol for this conference, okay? Real deep, the Mobius strip. You remember that? So there's a guy named Hirschman, who's an economist that we all follow, and he's quite an incredible man and led an incredible life. Just passed away in his 90s a couple of years ago. This is one of his quotes. Misjudging the nature of the task brings creativity into play. So when projects think they're too easy, or the work is too easy and you misjudge it, and all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, this is really hard. Going in like that and coming out the other end is a big deal about how creativity starts. So this little activity, or a couple little activities I'm doing, we never did before. One of the things I'm going to ask you to do is to think of a Mobius moment. I just made that up. Or I made it up last night as I was dreaming that you had at the conference. So a Mobius moment would be something like when the message of the text was put inside of a balloon, so we closed the hand-language connection. All right, that loop. And another Mobius moment for me was when President Carruthers came out and surprised Dr. Steve Perry, that relational piece. Those are Mobius moments. So you got some index cards there, and I'm not asking for you now, but as we go through the pick-me-up today, if you could think of a Mobius moment, I'd like to call out a few. So that would be great. So next slide, Brian. I think we're ready. Well, let's go to the next one, please. We're going to hold off on that one. So this is something that happened in 1991. We'll start it at the beginning. All right. This is Wait a second here. I just saw a sign out there. Farmer from the outside.
Hey, good to see you.
I just saw a sign about things taste better when they're homegrown.
You must have been watching our show a little bit,
yeah,
right?
I was watching a little bit on my satellite dish. I tuned in. I just want you to bring you a pack of these standardized tomatoes.
Look at these. Aren't these beautiful?
Now,
they're all the same size.
I don't really like them. They don't taste good. They're all the same size.
They may not
come
taste
from
good,
all over the country.
but you can get the same amount in
over.
each salad. It's perfect. Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Forgot they jump out of your
box
hand.
and grow them inside or outside. Now, I don't like these at all. Not one bit.
What would you do then?
Well, what I do is I grow these, and, they're all different kind of sizes, and they have different functions.
Big ones.
All different, And I grow them for sauces, and sometimes you grow them in, warm areas, cooler areas, dry, wet.
So I've bought some of these before. They don't taste as good as these.
No, and everything is different here, and you can grow it all different places. These are the best, homegrown. And in the springtime, I got my little tomato plants, and if this one's not doing too well, I give it a little more water. If this one's not doing too well,
like
bent over, I stake it up.
Personalize your work with your
That's right. That's
with
right.
your tomato plants, right?
Constantly watching them and taking care of them.
Well, I understand.
Doing that.
These
and
are,
it's
excuse
valuable.
me, I'm talking to you, man.
What?
These are perfect size there.
I thought I was a guest here.
You were, not for long.
Oh, all right.
These are perfect size.
Yeah.
So they hit the standard of what the grocery stores want.
Not
How
my
are the grocery
standard.
stores going to pack these?
I don't care about that. I care about what they do.
The taste.
The taste.
That's really what we care about.
That's right. Their texture and
So
a nice
long
sauce.
standards.
That's not my standard.
All right.
All right,
Very
well-
good. I'm glad you came along.
I'm going to
because
leave you this plant here.
All right.
All right.
Kind of
and-
fits into the show,
yeah,
right?
and I'll leave you a couple of homegrown tomatoes to enjoy.
This one's a little different.
Well, they're all a little different.
All right, well,
And maybe I'll be back later to talk to you.
I think you better go around the cameras now.
I'm going to be leaving.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right.
God, we have all kinds of visitors today coming through. But it was actually a coincidence. It just made a lot of sense about what are standards.
This was 22 years ago, 25 years ago. And we'll never get equity without testing. And Debbie went across the table at this person and said, we've had testing for 50 years and we still don't have equity. Who this is? He was the Secretary of Education when it was HEW. That's John Gardner. He started an organization called Common Cause, which is still around. Robert Reich runs Common Cause, and it's an advocacy group in Washington, probably one of the best not-for-profits that there is because they take on tough issues. for citizens to have a voice. And Gardner was at Stanford. And when I was going to a meeting around the standards piece, because we get invited in all the time, because we have very high expectations of our students, and we have multiple measures. And right now, as you had Tony Smith here the other day, Tony was talking about 7 school districts in California. Now Arne Duncan's going to make that announcement, or has, that have multiple measure type waivers around the standards and the testing, not the standards. So John Gardner, I was looking down before I went into this meeting, and it was a big circle on the ground, and it was a quote of his that was bronzed, and it says, whoever I am or whatever I am doing, some kind of excellence is within my reach. A different kind of standard. So, having said that, we're going to do a little activity today. Brian, if you can, let's see where we are. Each one of you in your basket has a piece of wood. Take it out, please. And when you open it up, you'll see it turns into a, oh, see, we had a wow effect. I like that because we like to get surprised. And that's a big deal and puts a smile on our face when we put something in our hands and then the language comes, because grasping precedes language. Cool, yeah. So, believe it or not, this pliers is made from a block of wood. All right? So I have some blades up here, and I have some whatever you call it, those agreements that you sign, so when you get cut, yeah, you know, so I'm not held harmful or whatever. And I got some Band-Aids back here, just in case. And for this pick-me-up, I'd like to get 4 volunteers, 2 women and 2 men. Come on up. Come on, there's 1. I need 4 people. 2. Let's give them a hand. Come on up. Come on up. 3. 4. Okay, we got our 4 people. We got our 4 people. All right. They're each going to get a blade. We're not going to give them much because you don't need much. That's the only trick I'll tell you. But this is a code, and we're code crackers. That's what we do. We make codes, and we figure things out. And while that's going on, you're going to watch them do it. You can play with your pliers. I want you to take notes and observe how they're figuring this out. Oh, there we go, how they're learning. And we have our camera person there. She's going to be taping. You're going to be watching. You could be thinking about your Mobius moments. You can be working the pliers and watching them. So they have 5 minutes to do this activity. If anybody wants to do this at their table, we have a few more. If you want knives. Now, the interesting thing is when I was up here watching you all do those Mobius cutouts, it was amazing for me to see how frightened, fearful some people were of turning that piece of paper and making a mistake. We're so risk averse, is what Dennis was talking about. And that says a lot. If you give that to kindergartners, you know what would happen? You know what would happen. All right. You would get all kinds of Mobius strips, and they'd go, look, I did it, and it doesn't look anything like it. All right. So blanks. You need blanks. I can give you more than 1 blank. You're all witnessing this. You need 1 more. And you can take your pliers. You can look at your pliers. The man who invented this and developed it, not invented it, but who perfected it, you're only allowed to make 10 cuts to make the pliers. 10 cuts. And then we're going to watch him do it. Okay? Go ahead. Everybody watch. Here we go.
Okay. Becky, getting nice and tight on those, okay?
Yeah, they're writing, you're all writing and describing how you think it could be done. Take a piece of paper, thank you, Andrew, draw a plan, write down the directions, see if you can figure it out, work with somebody. Go ahead. Tell me what you're observing about these folks, what their strategies are, what they're doing. Oh, yes, I do. Two, I have plenty. If anybody wants,
Becky, can you go to the front of the table,
razor blade?
please?
You got a blade?
There we go.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm going to get through this. 3 minutes. I'm just going to do it. Don't worry. Yes. You can draw one. You could try one. Here's a whole bunch. Hold on. Here's some. Here, Tony. Yep. Well, they can cut them with that one of these knives. Okay, 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay, they're going to keep working. Let me ask people what they're seeing as they're doing what they're doing. Yes? Shh, quiet, okay. Total engagement. Anybody else? Thank you. They're going. What? Stand up so we can hear you. Yeah, somebody else. Yeah. Yeah. Initial investigation before they went into it. Yeah. They're not working with each other. They could have asked each other questions. They just dove right into it. Yeah. Amber? Stand up and shout it out. They're willing to make mistakes. They're problem solving. Yep, Tim? Say it again, stand up. They have an end goal and a desired result, and they have, if you will, the rubric in front of them. They have the product that they have to make. There's an expectation there that they're going to do that. Okay, let's stop them right now. I know they're busy, but they don't want to stop. Can I ask you, what did it feel like doing this?
Kind of fun. Pretty intense.
Pretty intense. Thank you.
Yeah, same thing. It was puzzling because I thought to myself, okay, is it really one piece? Could I take it apart and make one piece and then the other piece, stick it back together?
Strategy.
Yeah, no, it's a puzzle, and it's fantastic.
It's what?
It's a puzzle. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, this is, well, I don't know. I don't work well under pressure.
Okay, good. Thank you. I didn't mean to put you under pressure, but you could take that back to your table and work on it all day. That's all right. You can take more blanks. So now, Brian, they can keep working. We're not going to bother them, but we're going to watch a little video of an old man who's made 750,000 of these pliers. Go ahead. Watch him do it and listen to his language as he does it.
This is a block of basswood. Linden tree is another name for it. White pine, sugar pine, many woods will work. But we like the basswood the best. We buy the planks, buy the whole tree really, cut it to length, height from this, and you have to follow straight grain. If the grain isn't straight, your pliers will never open right. And sometimes things get bloody. From this point on, you can either take it on a belt sander or a block plane and plane it into a nice square like this. The knife I'm using is my dad designed and built back in the early 1900s. Little blade. Biggest mistake people make trying to make pliers is their blades are too long. If they're longer than your thumb, they'll get in your road. There's 10 cuts to make a pair of working wooden pliers. The first 4 are a quarter way deep, 45-degree angle to the block. Number 3, same thing, but the distance between here and here has to be greater than the width of the wood, or they cannot open. And sometimes you have to make more than one cut to get the depth. Now I'm indexing across. I'm going on a 45-degree angle, and they have to be deep enough to pass these other 2 cuts. This one's going uphill. You can check your depth by holding your thumb on it, wiggling it out, and that's how deep I am. If it was only that deep, it couldn't possibly open. Number 7 and number 8 are very simple. You push straight through and you rock your blade just a little bit. Number 9 is a split in the top. Number 10, and there's your working wooden pair of pliers.
All
And
right.
there's no secret to it.
So, listen to his language. Listen to the math. Listen to the feel. Listen to the patterns and the heuristics, those patterns that he developed that have become almost algorithmic to him through his hand and through his language. It's pretty incredible, and yet it looks so simple. It looks that simple, huh? And with a little time and a little practice, you get good at it. But it does take time. So I want to thank our people over here. Keep working, that's all right. You can have another blank. We'll leave them there all day. And now, our next presentation is going to get started by our principal from our LA Big Picture School, Nicole Nicodemus, and we're going to hear from another student. Nicole, where are you? There you are. Give her a round of applause. And give these people a round of applause. They were great.
So I'm going to distract you so you can focus on me while they're doing a little set change. I was going to get up here and tell a long story about Blanca starting as a freshman in the summer of 2006. 2006 happened to be also the first year that we started Big Picture School in Los Angeles. We were at a church on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We had no idea what we were doing. I was with Steve Backrack and myself, and we had some advisors, kind of one that really a student kind of hired because we didn't have time to talk to the possible potential new teacher that was out of Claremont, who's Jessica Davis, who you're going to see a little clip of, who is an amazing advisor and the advisor of Blanca. So we were in this church. Back of my Explorer was really the office where I had student files and boxes, and we spent that year and maintained students. And Blanca stayed with us for 4 years. I have no idea, you know, why we didn't scare her away that first year in the church, but she stayed with us through the 4 years. And our first graduating class that had gone through our school for the first 4 years is the class of 2010, and Blanca was part of that. And she's a really quiet, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to talk to her, but she's really quiet, soft-spoken, but don't let that fool you, because that young lady has stood up at City Council, City Hall, and fought the city for what she thought was right about beautification in her city. She got a grant. She was honored at City Hall by Public Works to be able to plant a garden. I don't want to give too much away because she's got it well covered in her speech, but I do want to show you some of the different things that she did in her community.
Called environmental racism. Why do we get stuck with all these factories and look at the richer areas like Hollywood or Beverly Hills? It's obvious that the company owners wouldn't build their factories near the rich because that might be the area they live in. I sought justice in my community, injustice in my community, and I took action.
I did want to let you know that you have some competition because, like you know, they made a TV movie out of you. Well, they didn't make a TV movie out of her, but Blanca was followed around for a year, and they made a documentary about the guerrilla gardening that she was doing in South Central, and they called it South Central Resistance. So she's famous in her own right, too. We're going to hear a little bit from Jessica, and then we will introduce and hear from Blanca. This is her advisor.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I wanted to say a few words about why I nominated the incredible young woman you're about to meet. Blanca is a young woman that I knew from the very first day I started teaching. I think in all teachers' lives they meet at least one student, sometimes a few, but for me she's probably the one who reminds you of why you come to class every day, why you don't quit, why you stay in this crazy profession, especially a big picture school. And for me, Blanca, like I said, is that person. Blanca started an amazing environmental movement at our school her sophomore year, and she inspired so many students to get involved that she ended up winning grants from the city, planting over a dozen gardens across South Central. Hopefully she'll tell you about the time that she almost got arrested along with the entire incoming 9th grade class doing project work that Elliot would probably be proud of, but she might not. Blanca also was nominated for numerous awards at our school as well as at her college. She probably won't tell you that because she's far too humble. I don't want to keep talking because I want you to hear from Blanca, but she is an amazing young woman, and hopefully you'll be inspired the way I am by what she says to you today. Can we stop, please?
Please give a round of applause for Blanca Perez.
A lot taller than I expected. Can I bring it down? Okay. I was trying not to use my iPad but I'm gonna do it. So good morning. I'm Blanca. I'm a little nervous now. Okay. So it's an honor to be able to have the chance to talk to you about my wonderful learning career I had in a big picture school. And I am here to share with you how a network of support, my high school, helped me care about my community, my education, and my future. I'm here to be an example of what you're capable of creating. So, a little about myself. I'm from Los Angeles, of course, as you've seen. I was born and raised, and of course, a Latina. A city girl who loves nature. Kind of strange, right? City girl loves nature. But a tree hugger, as I was referred to in high school. I'm one of 4 children, and the only one born in the States. Since I lived in South Central LA, 2 of the schools I was destined to go to were not the best schools. They had low graduation rates. The things I heard about both schools were terrifying for me. I was scared of not making it through high school and not having that higher education. Students were dropping out because the material was not so interesting. 2 of those students were my brothers. But it was not only because school was not interesting, but because of other barriers. Barriers like gangs. Can I get water? Yeah. Ooh, okay. So barriers like gangs and no documentation. My sister managed to graduate from high school, but because of her undocumented status and little support, she couldn't go forward. This meant, as the youngest of my siblings, I had to get a higher education. This meant that I had to get us out of what we called the hood, South Central LA. I applied to many other charter schools, but I chose Los Angeles Big Picture. I was so flustered during our first summer session. At one point I said to myself, what am I doing here? The school had high expectations. They wanted us to generate projects around our interests. Asking a 14-year-old what she or he is interested in you know what they would say? They would say having a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Now, you want to know about my summer project? I did my project around stray dogs in the community. I thought to myself, how am I gonna get anywhere with these kind of projects? Like, what kind of school is this, you know? Luckily, in 9th grade, I signed up for an environmental class called Word to Mother Earth with Jessica Davis, as you've seen, where I watched Al Gore's documentary, An Inconvenient Truth, the most horrifying documentary that I had ever seen at that time. The first year led me to focus on searching for better ways to create a better environment in my community. In 10th grade, I got an internship with Communities for a Better Environment, a nonprofit who showed me to go further than just research, but to be an active citizen by joining protests and petitioning. This internship helped me research more about my community's issues like food insecurity and environmental injustice. I had planned to continue this internship through summer because I had found something that I was truly passionate about. It was going to be the perfect summer, but sometimes you just have to accept unexpected events. It was Friday, May 2nd, 2008. We had just returned from our college tour of the Claremont colleges in Pomona, California, which I thought would be my future college campus. I got a ride home and saw cops in the main street by my house, and all I thought was maybe it was some car accident. But my brother Beto was suddenly gone. He was shot by gang members. This meant I thought I wasn't gonna do this, sorry. Don't clap. Okay. Ooh, he was shot by gang members. And this event was painful. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, it was painful, but I was able to turn that pain into strength. Oh, not right now. So it opened my eyes and inspired me to become a community activist to help create a safer and healthier place. So people won't feel the same pain my family and I felt. My school was so supportive, helped my family raise money, and my advisors and principals showed up at the funeral home where we had the service for him. If it wasn't for their support, I think I would have quit school. After my brother's death, I missed school for a whole week and didn't really care about continuing. My advisor visited me at home and brought my friends with her so they could be of support. I remember that day she visited me. She had a car full of them. And along with them, the money they had fundraised for me. And this story is not meant to scare you or to think that you have to be involved deeply in every student's life, but to show you that without the support or push from my school, I wouldn't have made it. Just showing that you are there for your students and believe in the potential of the student can go a long way. During that summer, I decided to get involved in this summer school to be a peer counselor for the new freshmen. I talked to Nicole and Jessica about being in charge of an environmental science project that connected to the book by Paul Fleischman entitled Seed Folks. The book, can I get some napkins? Oh my God. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. The book involved a little girl, Kim, who planted in a trash vacant lot in her community in remembrance of her father who had died. Her lima beans grew and caused her community members to want to plant as well. The community eventually comes together to create a community garden. I got together with other peer counselors and created a guerrilla gardening action plan as part of the science project for the 9th graders. We scouted vacant lots and even parkways that needed some cleaning. I saw it as a way to help me heal and as a way to prevent my community from going through the pain my family and I went through. The support I got from the staff was really empowering because I didn't see myself as a leader, but they helped me find that opportunity to become one. Our first day out in the streets of South Central as guerrilla gardeners, we got put up against the wall. Wait, do we have a slide? And as you saw, I think she showed the picture. I forgot to show you that picture, but okay. Wait, go back. Okay, so we got put up against the wall. It was pretty interesting. So our first days out, okay, so we got put up against the fence. LAPD thought we were gang members because we were all wearing the same color. Does that look to you? Same color, really? Plus, we were wearing our uniform. Not, okay, no. Okay. I still think about it. LAPD thought we were gang members because, okay, so they didn't really give us a chance to tell them we were gardening. Even though they saw our tools right next to us. But LAPD couldn't scare us or stop our green revolution. Some advice: believe your kids when they call you and tell you that they are being held against the wall for gardening. I called Jessica to come help us out, but she just laughed. She said we were joking, and she hung up on me. Yeah, we had that close relationship with her, and we would joke around with her, but this was something we wouldn't joke about. This situation only pushed me to better organize our guerrilla gardening group, which we called the South Central Resistance. We were ready to resist, to fight back and plant, more than what we did that day. So our motto became Green the Hood for the Common Good. We created an event called The Big Dig to bring out the community, and for them to be able to participate in a new movement. Well, not so new, but in South Central. This was a step closer to helping create that unity and a greener space. So to produce that safety, I have learned that not everyone is made to attend a higher education institution, but to have the choice to go to college is wonderful. Because of the BPL model, I became a great leader and found that passion that pushed me to look for a better future and construct a better environment for my community. My school gave me many college options to choose from, but I decided to reach further than what I knew. My leadership and spirit pushed me to go outside my comfort zone, pushed me across to North Carolina, where I now, okay, that was another picture, where I now keep flourishing my leadership skills as the president of the Latino Club on campus, a mentor of 3 freshmen for a student of color mentor program, which I helped organize, a community service coordinator, a leader of the Latino youth mentoring program for the community, and a resident assistant of one of the upperclassmen dorms. As you can see, I included condoms because that's one of my duties to fill out. They tell us to fill it out every month, but they seem to be getting filled out every week. I don't know what college students are doing. The transition to college was easy, well, academically, because personally it was really hard to be outside of my comfort zone. I am now studying social work because I want to work on a one-on-one basis with community members from South Central LA. Everything that I'm currently doing is connected to what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I was able to find that passion because of my advisor's push. The big picture learning model was crazy at first. But as I got to learn more about myself, it became easier. I had no problem writing research papers, conducting interviews for projects, or managing my time when I went into college. My first 2 years of college, I met with my college advisor a lot of times to talk about classes that I was interested in and how to make connections with the community organizations to learn outside of just textbooks. My college advisor was surprised to me and said, "I've never met a freshman so involved and organized." All I could say was, thanks to my high school, I look for more knowledge gained through. I look for more than knowledge gained through books, but through the community. Because of the teachers like you, teachers that care, I want to give back to my community. Teachers that care and that take time to connect to and understand an individual student are of great value. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you. I am sure that I'm not the only one, and I'm sure that you've heard it many times from important officials or even superintendents. But I really mean it. And yes, sometimes it's hard to work with students, parents, community, and mentors. But know that if you continue to push for better opportunities for students, great minds can be created and great things will occur. Once again, thank you. And thank you for your hard work and perseverance. And I would like to leave you with a quote that I chose. So, one looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feelings. The curriculum is so much necessary raw material, but warmth is the vital element for the growing plant and for the soul of the child.
I mean, the amazing thing is we know this is what it's all about. This is why we're in the profession, and that's all. So I thank you. You're more important to us than, especially if you'd be listening to me. Thank you. You're more important to you're more important to us than you know, because you moved us all, and that's what keeps us going. And I've been in the field a long time, but every time I hear you or Angelo, that keeps me here for a few more years. So Big Picture Learning, 2013 Big Picture Learning Alumni Action Award. Congratulates Blanca Perez, Los Angeles Big Picture High School. Congratulations, we're very proud of you. Give her another hand.
Thank you again, Blanca, for your courage and for your words of inspiration. And folks, let's give it up for both of our great keynote speakers that we've had this week. Our students, been awesome.